The founder and CEO of Retail Resilient. Car dealers all over the country love working with us. We have two product solutions that they absolutely love using. The first product solution is a Facebook and Instagram school. We also have a campaign management program where we generate leads for them. Our car dealers typically say to us, I had the highest grossing month in the history of my business. I'm up double in my volume year over year, and we absolutely love helping car dealers. So give us a try, give us a shout. We would love to see if we're a fit to work with you.
Hi, this is Barry Jordan from whitegloveperformancegroup.com. I'd like to take a few moments of your time to share how we can make you more profitable. Dealerships all over North America are using our cloud-based power dialing platform, Touchpoint, to manage their outbound sales-generating phone calls. With Touchpoint, your agents can make up to 50 calls an hour. Leave a voicemail, send an email with a link to a video or to your website, all with a click of the mouse. We specialize in empowering your teams to make the calls that make the sales. How can Touchpoint help you increase profit? Check us out, whitegloveperformancegroup.com.
Hi everyone, I'm John Latka from Automotive Business Solutions, where we help dealerships build more productive and proactive by appointment sales cultures through our Performance Management Partnership Program. So, if you want to increase your sales volume by 2 to 3 sales per month per salesperson, call our toll-free number, 877-708-8484 for a free consultation.
Thanks to our sponsors. All right. So a couple books. I thought I'd make these about more fun than anything else. So Fun Works, Leslie Urquhart, The Ultimate Guide to Having Fun at Work, and Joy at Work by Dennis Frank. Go ahead, Jeff, with our disclaimer.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us live and, of course, joining us on our podcast later. Our disclaimer here is the views that are being shared at the moment by our guests or those of our guests and not necessarily of ours. We apologize for any risque behavior or words or bad dancing. So thank you for joining us, and again, just lets us off the hook.
Thanks, Jeff. And then getting your swagger back or adding swagger to your automotive dealership is kind of the point of the show today. So let's get started. Jeff, go ahead.
Well, again, thank you. Whoops, there we go. Change our view here, and we have today joining us two very big personalities in the automotive industry, and with today being about swagger, I don't know if two people have more swagger than that. Our first guest today is George Saraglu, Stouffville Toyota, and George is joining us from Stouffville, Ontario. George, say hi to everybody. You don't have to introduce yourself because.
Good morning, everybody. Jeff, Ian, Gail, and all the listeners and followers. It's always fantastic to be on the show. Gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys having me on the show today, and always excited to be part of the Auto Hub show, always.
Thanks, George.
Thanks for taking the time. I know you're working very hard today, so I see the customers in the background and they're lined up for those fine Toyotas. So thanks again.
Yes.
Our second great guest joining us is Fred Subprime Hero Leonards III, who is the Car Guy Coffee podcaster. He is the finance director and way more, including a really cool dancer. And he's joining us from Louisville, Kentucky, the home of horses and car sales. Fred, thanks for joining us, and you made it on time. Take a moment, say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's going on? Just got out of a big sales meeting, but yeah, I'm here. I'm excited, man. Things are great. I'm Fred. I'm the Subprime Hero. I do the Car Guy Coffee I said. I do the Car Guy Coffee podcast, and absolutely love doing it. I also part of a new agency called the Certified Solutionaries, where we're out just trying to caffeinate the culture in all these different dealerships by bringing fun. And we do this thing called KISS. You all know it as keep it simple, stupid, right? But for me, it's keep it seriously silly. So we're going to keep having fun. You guys have some fun. Appreciate you for having me.
Fantastic.
Well,
So
sorry, Ian, go ahead.
yeah, question. I mean, you know, years ago when I got in the car business, now over 20 years ago, I got in it because it was a fun business. And what I find a lot today is that there are people that seem to be taking this way too seriously. And I think swagger matters a lot. Um, why not follow what has worked for decades and continue to have fun? Like, I don't understand this whole that, dealerships have turned into accounting practices. Like, it just, to me, that's crazy. So, what's your thought there on why swagger matters? Let's start with Fred, since he was talking about that and dancing a little bit there.
All right, I appreciate you for having me up first. Hello, everyone, once again. But no, swagger does matter. People want a personalized experience. Swagger is you, and that's what it's beautiful about it. Like, swagger isn't just like a certain thing. Like, oh, you have to do it exactly the same as like George would do it, or the same as Jeff would do it, or Ian. It's your own thing. Being truly authentic to being yourself is swagger. So find your real self, who you want to be. Quit worrying about what other people say about you. Just be you and just use that swag. And what people do is they come in and they feel very like it's exclusive to them, like you're giving them the real you instead of this bottled up thing that you're taught how to be as a salesperson. Hello, nice to meet you. Welcome to the Toyota store. How can I help you? You want to be more, hey, you want to have fun with people. People want to have fun. They call it the Starbucks experience. Starbucks isn't better coffee than anybody else's coffee, right? It's actually not even that great. It's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. I drink a lot of it, but I'm drinking better coffee. But what makes Starbucks special is the experience you get in there. They specialize, they put your name down. They put down all the different things that you want on it. And when you get around, they call your name out to get it again. It's something about that. And then you can get all these little things. Next thing you know, you're leaving there with, chocolate covered freaking coffee beans. You're doing all these things that you didn't even go in there to do because you just had a better experience. And so when you give people a personalized swag, you just go in there and you have fun with them. You made a smile come to their face and they feel like they're dealing with the true person that's in front of them, that somebody that loves doing what they do. Swag takes over, and all day long, people, if they don't buy, they remember and they'll come back. And that's something that is so powerful. It's something that is so much more than the daily, I'm trying to sell people. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help people and I'm trying to be me while I do that. So that's my interpretation of swag, my friends.
Thanks very much, Fred. George, what do you think? I mean, I know you do these crazy videos, and I've seen them firsthand, so I can tell you that he does them all in one take. So, how did that come about? Like, where did the swagger come from? How did the George?
So I was in a different position. I was running the biggest dealerships in the country in a managerial role, and dealing with a sales force of 60 to 70 people, just salespeople. And I used to train my sales staff in how to create that swagger, create that excitement, that experience. And I guess similar to what Fred said, even if they don't buy, they'll never forget you. And you'd be amazed sometimes how people, you interact in such a unique and positive way that they'll never forget. They'll send you people if they bought or even if they didn't buy, and they do it with a smile. And I can't say enough how we're not sending people to the moon here. We're selling cars.
Oh, you're muted, man.
It's an experience. I think it's a truly unique experience, and you got to make it that unique experience and personalize it to the people if possible. It's I can tell you countless amount of stories. I'm on, and I've said this. I'm selling cars to 4 generations of customers. Great grandparents, grandparents, parents, and children, and that's not by coincidence. That's because they feel like they're being looked after, which they are, and they feel like, hey, you want a guy that's going to look after you, you got to go see my guy George. It's quite that. It's quite simple. And people who make it a little bit too, cookie cutter, it doesn't bring those results. And on any showroom floor, it's all about the vibe, and it's all about the hype, and it's all about the excitement, and customers feed off that, and they love it. And I took it upon myself a few years ago to work on my own and take everything that I knew and everything that I've been teaching and use it for myself. And it's paying off huge. Social media is, to me, is a place where you want to have a lot of fun, and people see that, they feel it, and then when they come and see you in person, it's even that much better. So creating fun in our business, I've always been a big believer of having fun with our people, and making it a unique experience. So they'll always continue to come back.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's funny. People buy cars when they feel good. People go to work when they feel good. And, you know, we see all these memes on social media about, you know, when they feel appreciated, blah, blah, blah. But if their work level is fun, and that really does it. So
another one other thing I want to add, and this is probably a very important thing that gets forgotten. You know, you got to have full, I guess, you know, like our dealer, they got to back you. They got to, you know, give you that full support. Support is so key. You know, there's certain dealers that I know of that wouldn't want anything to do with it. You know, I don't want anything to do with social media. I don't want nothing. I'm going to sell the way I used to sell 30, 40 years ago, and that's the way I'm going to run my business. And those are the type of people that, unfortunately, I would just never work for, and I don't know who would. Like, if you got to have that support right from the top, and it starts from the top in any organization. So that's huge.
I worked for one of those dealers that said, "Yep, that's the way it's worked for me, and that's the way it is. And I don't like laughter. I want my salespeople on the phone."
Right.
But so, so George, you're still staring at me, so I'm going to keep you there and keep Fred all just itchy, dying to talk. What made you decide to do it this way? What made you decide to create George Saraglous? Oh, Phil, what did that?
Like I said, I had been doing it for a long time for others, helping others. And I finally came to a point where I procrastinated about a lot about going back on the floor. And obviously, when you have the tools that are available to you today that weren't available 20 years ago when I was on the floor, on the sales floor, the tools, and I mean the social media tools that are a click of a button and instantaneous and fast and interactive, and it's endless. And I always just found that so incredible to have such a powerful tool at your fingertips in sales, car sales or any sales for that matter. But yeah, it's the tools that are available to people, and people who don't utilize them, you know, shame on them. And you got to get with the times and move on, and, you know, be unique, be yourself, and create that whole environment where people basically, it's like it's like a magnet. They just want to be part of it. I get people who pop in just to say hello. They're not even, to be honest, I don't even know a lot of them, and they say, "Hey, we don't know each other. I follow you, and I just wanted I was driving by the neighborhood, and I wanted to come and say hello." And this was even just on Saturday. I had a couple with their 2 kids. They just came in to say hello. We follow you. We love your stuff. One day when we're in the market to buy a car, we're going to come and buy a car for you. So it's incredible. The reach that's out there with these tools it's incredible.
It's funny you mentioned that, because not just the people, but in sales, I've always believed, I was told when I first got in the business, the safest position in a car dealership is being a good salesperson.
That's correct.
Great manager, you can be an outstanding business manager, etc. Great GM, but
yeah,
you don't last. A great salesman, smart dealers just leave you alone.
That's correct. Yeah, very true. Very true.
So Fred, what made you decide to switch this way and go from just being a normal finance guy and into the dancing king?
I've always been the dancing king. What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. But truth be told is that, you know, I was kind of in a slump. Not really. You know, I was doing great in life, was making a lot of money. I'm killing it, working at the #1 independent store in the state of Kentucky. We're doing subprime, but I'm still crushing back-end products. You know, I get a chance to lead a team that's amazing, get to help them grow, get to put seeds inside them that grow into great harvests in the future. You know, people buying homes now, buying cars, understanding why this business is so precious, why this business needs people like us, people who are different, people who are fun. Because if we keep going the way we are going, it's not going to be good. Well, I was in a slump at a point where I was like, man, I'm really bored. Like, I don't know if I want to keep doing, I hate my job. I felt like, even though I had everything great going on, I was like, but I hated it for some reason. I wasn't growing anymore. So this whole personality of the subprime hero, because I do subprime finance, came about. I started using social media, like he was talking about earlier. Social media is a tool that I didn't have when I first started selling cars. Boy, I wish I did. Oh man, I promise you, I would have used that tool and I would have been a monster with it. And I am, as you can see what I'm doing lately, you know, and it's a beautiful tool that reaches people all over the place, people with the same mindset as you. So by showing yourself, having fun, the people out there, those are the clients you want to attract, the ones that like to have fun, not the snoopy ones with the big booklet that says, hey, I want to buy this car and I know everything about it, right? Those are great people. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I love to help. I like to have fun. So when people come in, I want to attract fun people too, that we can have a good time together, get to have fun, do these things. So you attract what you put out. So I did the Subprime Hero. That came out, it worked really well. I did that on LinkedIn. I was building a great network, went from that until I felt like I was stagnant again. I my whole keep growing. You guys have heard it, right? And I had to keep growing. So I decided to call my business partner, who's, my brother, Lou Ramirez. I called him and said, hey, let's do a podcast. He was like, all right. And he was like, I got a name for it, Car Guy Coffee Podcast. I was like, I love it because that's our energy. We bring a lot of caffeinated culture to everywhere we go. We like to have fun. And I do love some coffee, not going to lie, right? So all that added together and all that became something. So I went from being just a finance guy at a store that was doing great in most people's eyes would probably look up and be like, man, I wish I was in his position, to a point where I hated it, where I would give it up to do anything else almost. And then I started doing other things which enhanced my life, which made me start to have appreciation again for what I have, this job, these opportunities, these people, the salespeople around me. And then I did the podcast because I hit another little wall again. And then boom, all of a sudden I'm all over social media. I went from just LinkedIn to Facebook, TikTok, obviously Instagram, Twitter. And now I've really built up a great brand. And it's the whole, brewing solutions with the certified solutionaries. We're here to caffeinate your culture and obviously upshift and uplift everyone's life around us, and especially the car business, because I know that this business brings so much to people and there's a lot of great people in it, but we have a bad rep. So my job and my calling from God, or whoever you want to, the universe, whatever it is, my energy tells me you're happy if you help people. And if you help this car business get better, you help it to where people look at us like we're superstars and helpers and professionals that really love to help, but yet have a good time and do these things. I'm going to make a change. And I know I'm going to keep pushing until it happens. And the more we can get people like George in, the more we can get people like Ian, and everyone that's in this room right now, thank you all for being here and watching. I appreciate it. And everyone who watches this on the replay, if you love this business, if you love whatever business you in, give it the best you have. It's your job to do that. By you not going out there and working hard, you're not honoring the people, your forefathers, your grandparents, your parents, your mentors that you've had, your kids, your wife, your husband, whoever, your spouse, your significant other, your life partner. You're putting them all down when you don't go to work. And work doesn't have to be pen to paper and you grinding. Work can be little breaks of fun and making it interesting, making it you. The car business allows us to be creative. So I got a chance to be creative all these years. And 20 years of this business, I've done it the right way. I've done it the wrong way. I've done it the right way again. And what I've found is that when I'm me and I'm honest, everybody around me succeeds. So that is why I did it. I did it to grow, and I didn't want to stop growing, and I wanted to change this business. So that's why I'm here, bro.
Here's a funny comment for you. We're talking about social media. We're talking about moving forward. You're starting to do subprime financing on electric cars. And right behind you is an ode to the past. And I'm not talking the Star Wars thing. I'm talking to your right shoulder, the Oki Data dot matrix printer.
Nice.
This is my baby right here. This thing has helped deliver vehicles to thousands of people to be able to live the life that they want, have an opportunity to drive a vehicle that's safe, reliable for their families, and in some cases just a vehicle because they couldn't get one anywhere else because no one would even try. Oh,
can you
love you guys, man. But it's, can I what?
Can you get parts for the darn thing now?
I can. I have a place that does it. I found it on the internet. I've had to get the new, like this handle right here. This thing breaks because you spin it sometimes, and this little piece in here will snap. So I have like 50 extra ones of these because I break at least one a year, right? So the ink, you have to order all that. But for the most part, these things are beasts. You don't really need to do much maintenance. They run forever. That's kind of why we still have it. But yeah, it is very 1992. What's going on, guys?
That was the cutting edge then. Ian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, there's lots of people out there that want to become known in the car business. They want to use social. They may or may not have support from the dealer or the manufacturer. I didn't when I got involved in social, 15, 18 years ago. What steps, do you take to get started? Why don't we go with George? What do you think? How do you get started? How do you have that discussion?
So you have a discussion to start. What you cut out there because I had somebody call me there.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, how do you get started? You want to become, still Votoda George, or whatever your name is. You want to become a celebrity in the automotive space. You want to help people. You want to have fun. How do you get started?
I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't. I mean, even though I taught and trained it, and I was a big believer in it, until you actually start it, one at a time, a day at a time, a video at a time, a customer at a time, and you start to see it build. That's when you kind of got to take the momentum and keep running with it. And kind of to Fred's point, if you're not going to show up and give it your 150% every day, and out of respect for obviously who you're working for, the brand you're working for, like you said, your fathers, your forefathers, your spouses, your better halves, your partner. Like, if you're not going to show up and walk in that door and leave your luggage at the front door and give it the 150% while you're there, don't even show up. And for years and years, I was always ask my people, always, on a scale of 1 to 10 today, what are you giving me today? And I had people give me, 6, 7, 8, and I'd say, well, then why are you here? If you're not giving yourself, forget what you're giving me, give yourself that 10 effort. Give me the effort. It all starts with the effort. And you know what? Some people, I can say, working with them, they were very shy and quiet to begin with. And once that momentum builds, you start to see the results, and then you feed off of it. And that's exactly kind of what I started to do. I know what it takes to get results. And if, you're giving it that 150% day in, day out, if you ask anybody in my dealership, they know when I'm in the building. They'll tell me all the time, when George's not here, it's quiet. But when I walk in the building, they know I'm in the building. And that's from everybody from my mechanics, because I'll walk through the mechanic shop every morning. When I walk into the dealership, my morning starts walking through the shop. I say hello to every single mechanic. I walk to say hello to every single advisor. I walk to say hello to as many people as I can before I even hit my office. So and it all starts there. It starts with the vibe and the support. I got my lot guys taking videos of me. I got my fellow coworkers taking videos of me. I got the owner taking videos of me. And it's just like a team effort. But the results come when you're persistent and you're giving it that full on 150%. And
Uh-oh. George.
George, you got another call.
that full on effort, you don't belong in the business, in my opinion.
Thanks, George. Fred, what do you think?
Dude, he hit that like if there was a nail, he had the hammer, he just hit it one time and went straight in, man. That was perfect. It's so right. The effort that you put in every single day. Okay, so being a superstar isn't something that if it's something you want to do, you're going to have to put a lot of work in. But if you have to have more than that, it has to have a why behind it. Why do you want to be a superstar? Right? Find that inside you. What is the drive that makes you want to do it? Because if you don't have that why to go in and work every freaking day, you're not going to do it. So know what it is. If it's your family, use your family. If it's the fact that you like to be the best at everything you do, make that what it is. If it's the fact that you love to help people, use that. Whatever it is, have drive somewhere. Use it as fuel and find it. If it's the fact that people have been kicking your ass for the last 2 years at the dealership and you want to be number one, you go for number one, right? So go for it and you keep growing. I promise you, it's everything. You got to have the why. So once you do that, it's pretty much like he just talked about. It's all the consistent work, constant body of work that you put together, consistency. People, when they're looking for you, they have to find you. They have to expect you at a certain time. They have to know when they can see you. They almost like it's like coming home and seeing your wife every day, like it's coming home to see your kids every day, or you're getting to work and seeing your best friend at work, right? It's that same consistency that you're used to having that first cup of coffee. You want to be that person's first cup of coffee. So when you can do that, and you start to build that network of people that get used to where you're at, it starts to grow. It starts off slow, then it starts to trickle. Then all of a sudden, one day you're going to look back and be like, what did I just do? This is amazing. But you have to have a reason, because if you're just doing it to be a superstar, it's not going to work. It's because you're going to give up easy. You're going to have excuses. Well, I could just do it later. I could do it tomorrow. Because you have to have a reason why you have to do it right now, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. Can't do it yesterday. It's already over. What are you doing right now? So once you have a reason, a why, you put the work behind it, all that energy that you want, be you and authentically you. And I promise you, with 150% of work like he's talking about, I promise you'll get there. And it just takes time. Time is beautiful, but it takes time. But yeah, those are the notes I would give you guys on that.
Perfect.
Yes, or they could go to Retail Resilient Social Selling for the Car Business and take one of our classes.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is what we do best in life.
A word from our sponsor.
Right.
I love it. I would love to have a
pitch
conversation with
right
you.
in the middle.
No, that's beautiful. And I would love to have a conversation with you anyway, because I think that if that's what you do, I think we would align on a lot of things. So outside the show, we should connect for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that you guys are talking about how you get started with salespeople in a dealership, because how Retail Resilient got started was we had no website for 2 years, and we literally used social media to build a huge business. And we used organic posting, paid sponsored ads, and we targeted car dealers all over the country. And here we are 5 years later, and it was strictly of being authentic on social. Like, that's literally how the entire business was built.
And the second word of your company, resilient, that is so crucial, because there's people who get halfway to glory, they stop, or that 1 inch from gold, and they give up, right?
Yep.
You all didn't do that. And guess what? You're still going to keep going. And I love that. Stay resilient, retail resilient. I
Yep.
love it.
And it's funny because Fred, when we actually train salespeople all over the country on how to build their social media page, the one slide we start with is, what's my chi? So what's my life force energy? Why do I get up in the morning? And it really does. We don't even talk about new car offers, used car offers, finance offers until way later. The first thing we talk about is what's my chi and why I wake up every day and do what I do. It's really cool, actually.
Interesting.
It's very funny, folks. The fact that social media has made it that with very little money invested, just time and effort and thought, you can build a great business.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you build it, you got to spend money.
You got to pay to play with Mark Zuckerberg, but he'll give you the goods.
I had a friend on Facebook post something the other day that said, when I was 10, I fell off my bike and scraped my knee. I didn't have most social media then, so I'm telling you about it now. And it's very true. So, George, I'm going to ask you this because you've got the biggest push of things. Have you ever had any pushback from people on your personality and your thing? Because I know me, I'm a pretty outgoing, boisterous guy, and sometimes people would sit back and go, "Whoa, have you ever had any problems there?"
Yeah, you tend to get some people who push back a little bit, and I'll be honest, I truly just thank them for their input. I don't make a big thing of it. I just basically say, hey, I really appreciate your feedback, and I leave it at that. Not after that, pretty much it extinguishes any type of fire. There's been maybe 1 or 2 instances where people want to continue, and I just say, hey, I appreciate your feedback, and looking to see if I can improve. So I thank you very much. So let's keep it simple. I don't get caught up, and I'm just way too busy for stuff like that. People who have too much time on their hands to go dig deeper, yeah, I'm not interested. But yeah, no, I thank the people for the good, the bad, or the ugly, whatever it may be. Yeah, I take it all on.
That's great. How about yourself, Fred?
I go with grace, right? I take it all on. I use it as fuel. We use this thing called caca, right? It's doo-doo that gets thrown at you. But doo-doo, when you look at time, seed, and harvest, that is actually manure in life. That is what fertilizes all the stuff that you're planting out there, trying to make grow, things that you're putting out to try to make happen, the love that you put out, the videos you put out, the friendships that you make, the everything that you're doing, the education, the books that you read, every push-up that you're doing, trying to get a better chest, or whatever you're trying to do, you're putting seeds out there of intention. Well, we get crap thrown at us throughout that time part between harvest, right? And when you're getting crap thrown at you, that's okay if you use it the right way. Use it to fertilize it, use it to fuel all the seeds that you planted, everything that you're working on, and use it to say, hey, it's okay. So like for me, I'm okay. I know I'm different. And there was a lot of people when I first did, like, why are you doing this? What's your end game? I'm like, I don't have an end game, guys. Quit asking me what an end game is. I'm going to die. That's the end game. I want to keep growing. I want to do it every single day, and I want to change this business. There's no end to that. There's a constant work to it. And I remember they looked at me like I was crazy, but I was like, that's fine. I'm going to use that as fuel to prove to you that I'm right. that I have a reason. That is my purpose. I have a calling, and I'm going to use this calling, this God-given gift that he's given me, this voice that I have, this energy that I love, and this business that changed my life 20 years ago, that helped me raise a family, helped me be able to afford everything I've ever could, things I never thought I could have. And it's just beginning. The social media game is really even blowing it up even more. That it's endless. There's so many things. So I'm going to use all that poo-poo crap that people throw at me as fertilizer to help me grow faster, stronger, greener, so I can give the fruits to my grandkids. They can have legacies of just like whatever fruit they want is going to be a tree there for them to be able to pull for many, many years. So that's how I do it, at least.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. We have a question from the audience. Have either of you had unexpected successes or challenges from these post presents? For example, George had new leads come to see him. I mean, have you had things that you didn't expect happen?
I'll be honest. I remember when I first started it, I had Royal Bank. Somebody was following me from RBC, and they said, "Listen, we're doing an employee initiative, have fun program, and we'd like to have you come and do a video for our employees." So they came to the dealership. I did an employee video for their employees. I had Sports Check, same thing. They reached out to me. I did something for their employees, and now I get special deals at Sport Check. Just recently, gentlemen, I was telling you, I got flown down to the U.S. for a similar type marketing type firm, and just promoting the business and being myself, and kind of to Fred's point, using just my natural energy and what comes natural to me, and having fun. And I have more examples. I have some local golf courses that ask me to do something, and I'm just having fun with it, just promoting my name and promoting the brand, and it just just trying to do whatever I can to get my name out there in a positive and energetic way, and letting things happen. And it's all cyclical. And people gravitate to that. It's incredible.
Fred, have you had any unexpected people approach you?
I've had people from outside the business. I had two Carvana executives reach out to me, ask me, a lot. My subprime hero name, they were because their subprime is horrible, right? So they're asking me questions. I've been able to, hey, I know I'm dealing with the devil. Sorry, guys, but at the same time, they check on us, man. They're making sure that we're doing our job. If Carvana never was about, we wouldn't have got so digital, because people wouldn't have said it was necessary anymore, or they're going to take it. So it put a little urge into car guys' life. But I mean, I don't help them how to sell cars, but I definitely don't mind advising people, helping them. So I've had Carvana, obviously Glenn Lundy having us do his show for the last week, doing Rise and Grind. That was amazing phone call we got from him. And he was like, "Hey, I would love for you two, because you're the only two that I know could bring the energy every morning like I do." So we did. We came out and had a great time for 5:30 a.m. Eastern time all week long. Things like that. But we've been growing. It's been fun. People reached out a whole bunch. When you're talking about that, you have who is it? Dusty Sutherland and Eric Hall. They reached out to me, great people, to do some videos for their people about basically what we're talking about today: how to bring your brand out, how to actually speak about that kind of stuff, how to be more affluent with it, how to show people how to be better at branding and things like that. I know I'm stumbling through my words, so I don't look like I know what I'm talking about, but you guys get what I'm saying. So I get to do that and get to have some fun. So I'm excited about that. But it's been a continuous thing. You constantly work, you constantly put the consistent, is what I call a consistent method. And there's all those letters of consistent. There's 10 of them. They mean something. But I can go through that another day. But there's a consistent method to it all, and you have to be consistent for one. And that's kind of the key. Being consistent with everything you do, because that's the only way you know if it works. Like if you only do it for a month, you don't know for sure. It takes at least 90 days of progress to really know if it works or doesn't work too. It may not work after 90, and that's kind of the bad side of it. But that's also the love. We all have to. Most successful people go through success quite a bit, but they've gone through failure way more. And that's why they're so successful, because they went through all these failures, found out how to fixed it, and went on. Those are why they didn't quit. They kept going. So hopefully that answered the question a little bit there.
Oh yeah. That's
Fred, they do the fast pivot. The successful people, they're like, 90 days. Okay, pivot, quick, change something, just stop hitting the wall.
Sound like a running back.
100%. Last question here. I mean, there may be some other questions from the audience, but what advice can you give to others who are looking to stand up from the crowd and exalt themselves into something unique? Like what, I mean, obviously there's lots of people posting different stuff. What advice, would you give them to stand out? But also, what should they be, wary of or, be sure to do?
Get jam up in the traffic on the highway.
No problem. What I would say is consistency is big. Trial and error. Don't be scared to try new things, and you'd be amazed. Some things that you might think you might fail with are a success. Just give me 1 minute, okay? So don't be scared. If you're new in the business, even if you're not new in the business and you want to get into social media, just do your best, try your best, and don't be scared. That's you got some shy people, some energetic people. You got to go at your own pace, whatever you're comfortable with, and that's it. Be comfortable, be happy, enjoy it, and above all, have a lot of fun.
Thanks, George. Fred?
If you want to accelerate it in unexpected things that can happen. Well, first thing is like he just said there, once again, there's that nail. Bink, he hit it straight down. You have to make sure that you're consistent, that you're putting it in there, having fun, because you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. Like I mentioned a moment ago, there's going to be failures. You're going to put out videos that you probably get 1 like, maybe no likes, maybe only a couple views, but that's okay. Never worry about the views, especially at the beginning. It's about the consistency. And a lot of times you're going to find that the views are going to pick up, they're going to dip, they're going to go up and down like a roller coaster. But the consistency of it all is so key. That's why being consistent, like you mentioned, 100%. But love what you do, find what you love, and make sure that's what you're doing. Use yourself. Don't try to be like Fred. Don't try to be like George. Don't try to be like Ian. Don't try to be like Jeff. You got to be like yourself. Be you, truly you, goofy, serious, whatever it is. Be that. Use that, because it's so much easier to be yourself than trying to be someone else, right? Because you can be authentic and that just comes out. It's not forced. So be authentic, have fun with it. You're going to stumble. You're going to, like I did earlier when my words, I was like, those happen. It's okay. People want to see that. Imperfection is what we all are. There's not a person on this planet that's perfect. We are all imperfect, but that's okay. That's why it's so much fun to live on this planet and get to know each other. If we were all perfect, it'd be very boring. But so use that fuel. Now you're going to get haters. So that's some of the unexpected stuff you don't think about. You're going to get the haters. I love the haters because they turn into lovers later. I swear to you. If you just hit them with love, don't hit them with, oh, you're shut up. Just be like, I understand your opinion. And you hit them with love. You keep pushing out that content. You keep being sincere, because people are restricted at first because they feel threatened a little bit, especially people who are doing what you're trying to do, something similar. They're going to throw a little bit of shade on you. And you'll see it. That's ungraceful. I don't like that kind of stuff. But what I do is like I said, I use it like manure, and I fertilize my lawn with that. And it turns out that my lawn's the nicest lawn out there. So those are a few of the tips I give you. Stay consistent and be ready for the hate. Use it as fuel. It's okay. And then make them love you. That's what I would tell you.
Fantastic.
All about the love. I agree. That's it. All about the love.
Well, you know something, it's George, I hate to tell you this, but business doesn't look that good. You're living in a ramshackle house with,
No, this is my fun project.
Looks good. It looks good.
This is what I do for fun, gentlemen.
So George, I got to ask you. So how do you deal with the haters? And I know you're going to say something very similar to what Fred said, but do you get many haters online?
No. Like I said, I can probably count on one hand. And I don't even think they're haters. I think some of them maybe just have a negative outlook and just trying to look for the negative in a lot of things. And I don't like getting tangled up with people like that. Like I said, I have no time for people like that. And I just keep it simple and say thank you and move on. And again, to anybody who is new at doing it, don't get caught up in anything like that. Just keep the love going, and you'll see there'll be way more love than hate. Just stick with the love and stick with the positive energy and stick with people who are encouraging you and the people who continue to support. And I wouldn't waste my time with people like that.
Well, one thing I have to comment on too, people on social media tend to come out of their shells.
Right.
They, if you ever read, obviously it's political when everybody gets.
Oh, I'll take my car to that.
But do you ever see any comments of anything on your?
I actually had one incident. Now that we're talking about it, somebody had said something about it got to be a little bit personal, And it wasn't even me. It was between a couple people that were following me. And I didn't even know who they were. And I politely asked both of them, gentlemen, this is not a place for you guys to be arguing on my social feed. So please take it up elsewhere. That was probably one instance where I couldn't believe what was going on. But people tend to get brave when they're, in front of a computer or on a phone, and who knows what they're doing when they're, on their own spare time, and they tend to do and say things they would never do in person. So just gotta move on and let those people be. You can't change those people. Don't even attempt it. Don't waste your efforts. Focus on yourself. Focus on moving the needle day by day and getting the results.
Yeah. So have you ever either of you ever broken up with a customer by text message?
I just try to keep it. Like I said, I could tell you stories on and on and on. Doing this for 30 years, the stories are endless. So, I mean, I have stories, lots of stories.
What about ideas? What about coming up with new ideas for content? Any advice there, Fred?
Oh man, there's so many of them. There's so many ways. I get inspired by what's going on in the current world around me, the experiences I have throughout the weeks. It's fortunate that I'm still in a dealership because I see what's going on real hand, So those types of things, being able to see what's going on the streets is what I call it, and being able to share that onto my podcast, onto my content I do daily on my quick brews. Those are things that I'm working on. People may not know that, but those are, if I'm talking about, hey, today I need to talk about accountability, because I need to talk about my own accountability. So that's what I use. I use inspiration of what for me. So that it helps me. I pour into myself so I can overflow with my cup and pour into others, right? So I do that first. I make sure I get that, and then it turns out that a lot of those videos are great for a lot of other people. So it works out good. And like I said, but podcast stuff, it's that honestly on my show, the easiest part is I have guests come on my show and I ask them questions. So it makes it a lot easier. I don't have to really come up with content. They do. So it works out great.
George?
Yes, sir.
Content. I mean, I know you do some crazy videos, and I know you even do some videos to support your local businesses I've seen. How do you come up with the ideas?
Content is kind of what you make it to be. You could take a little safety tip and promote it. You can take, when with a customer, I've even put myself out there when I'm actually on the phone with customers. Content is endless. It's just about using your imagination, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think content is truly, truly endless. The tool, the social media tool, content can be anywhere, anything at any given time with anyone. It's just, and take advantage of anything and everything you can.
Fantastic. Thanks, George. And Gail, I mean, you do a lot of training with new sales reps or reps that are new to the social media side. I mean, where do you start with getting them sort of, interested in doing this?
Usually it comes from the top down, like their leaders are on board and they know that their sales staff needs to do it. But it's definitely interesting because you have the A player social media guys, the B players and the C players. The A guys are like doing videos, posting, coming up with cool brand awareness hashtags, like trade with Trey, and you get more with Thor, and they have all these like fun, cool, creative ideas. And then the C players, we like drag them through the mud a little. We get to know them. We get them to like start really becoming their authentic self. The people that don't post, usually it's comes from like a fear of being seen, like some sort of fear of like people judging them, fear of being seen. And so what we end up doing is we help them overcome those fears by being like advocates, and like, once they overcome that fear, they're superstars, but it's usually just fear-based if they're not doing it.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Fred's got a thought there, I think.
No, I mean, I have to agree with that. I think the biggest things, I see that with my sales staff all the time, is that the fear of people looking at them like they're goofy or something. I'm like, dude, no, it's absolutely not what happens. We are our own worst critic, every single one of us. Every one of us will look at a video and be like, oh my God, I look like a moron. I could probably go back and rewatch this video and be like, what was I talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's usually golden to other people. They don't know that you stumbled through those words. They don't know these things. They're just happy to hear somebody talk something that's similar to what they're thinking, or somebody that can maybe is one step, literally one day ahead of them where they want to go. And if you can guide them, you just have to be one day ahead. It's all you have to be, is one day ahead of the person that you're putting the video out for, and people will follow. And that's what goes down, especially when they like what you have to offer, what you like, what you're saying, and that they believe you, because it's trust. And I love this. I'm reading a book right now, and this is a great book if you haven't read it, guys. It's The Speed of Trust. Fantastic. It's all about trust and how trust is currency. And people are like, oh, we either have trust and we don't know. You can actually make trust happen. And when you do, time goes down on everything and cost goes down, right? So you're going to spend less time and less cost on everything you do, which means you make more money. It's bottom line. You're more efficient. So trust, making people trust you, and untruthfully wanting them to trust you because you're an honest person. So be you, be trustful, be honest, and all that stuff works. But no, she's right on. That's why I was all pumping like this. Gail's killing it. She knows what's up.
We put 150 salespeople in a room, and we went around the room and asked them why they don't post. And we wrote down all their answers, and it was literally fear of judgment, or someone once in their life told them that they would never be good at something. It was all like these like traumas that started coming out from when they were younger, and they had all these crazy fears. And then when they trusted us, they started trusting the system and started trusting the process. And we have seen guys go from like 8 cars a month to 25, 20 cars to 30. It's insane what they're doing now on just Facebook and Instagram. So it's really cool actually to watch it over the last 5 years.
Yeah, well, Gail, I've got to tell you something. Ian and I were actually talking about this yesterday. You built this thing from this teeny tiny little thing, Gail Rubenstein, all 5'2" of her. And now you're like bigger than life with this great big operation. And you've proven what you can do through the power of a person. Forget social media, the power of the person. Same thing with Fred, same thing with George. It's all about swagger. You got swagger too.
Thanks. It's funny, I don't look at myself that way, but thank you. That's a nice compliment, actually.
It's very true. I mean, I remember I met you, oh God, a long time ago now. And I remember you coming into the dealership with V Auto and saying, telling me this, I'm not a gravelly old car guy, what you're doing wrong and why you should do this and that. And it's like, well, no, because the company says this and this. Well, I don't care what the company says. And that is swagger. Swagger doesn't have to be dancing or standing on top of cars or sitting with 25-year-old Corollas and telling them how great they are.
Yeah.
Swagger is who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smashing cars, sending cars to car heaven.
I should have Fred or John come run one of my sales meetings at Retail Resilient for fun. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I will totally come do that. That's one of my favorite things. We run sales meetings for call centers. I actually do sales videos for them that pump them up, energize them. So anytime, let me know.
Okay, because we have a Monday meeting every week, and my employees work remotely all over the country. So you would just dial in and Zoom with us.
All right, let's exchange emails and let's make sure that we make that happen. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll even bring my business
fun.
partner, Lou, and Lou Ramirez is fire too. So you get us both going together at the same time and we'll get them all forgive, focus, and flying and keep growing. That's our secret handshake. We'll teach you forgive, focus, fly, keep growing.
We're so gonna have you. Yeah. Okay. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, it will be, I promise.
Were you talking to me, Ian?
Yeah, any final thoughts? We're running low on time here. So
I got to tell you something, it's always fun to do our show, but sometimes shows just stick out. And the times we've had Fred on and with George, my gosh, you're a veteran of us. And, we love that video you shared of us. And it truly is. People remember you.
Yep.
George, you almost become like Cher and Elvis, George. Everybody knows George. You talk to people and say, hey, what about George? Oh, George, the guy in Toronto. Yeah, exactly. And
our dealer principal was just in meetings last week for Toyota Canada with all the dealers. And every time Kevin Baxter comes back from one of his meetings, he'll say to me every time, George, people always just ask about you. They don't know you. They just always they always ask about you. And I just say, sounds good to me. It's the funniest thing.
And you know, the funny part is, I know the Toyota world well, and it's extremely conservative.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you go to a Toyota meeting, and there's almost nobody on the floor drunk. Everybody's very dry and conservative. So there's George, and half of these people, you know, and it's good you have a dealer principal that supports it, because a lot of them wouldn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would say, no, we don't do that with Toyota because our people don't like that. So good for you. And good for you. And you know, Fred, I do have to say, and final thing I'm going to say, Fred, you mentioned honesty, and I'm a big believer in honesty, but a subprime person in honesty,
Great combo.
great combo.
Woo-hoo!
You don't
Great
tell
combo.
It's I'm a unicorn. So like I'm a freaking unicorn in this mug. You know, what it is honestly, it's because, and why I've been successful, more successful than most subprime people, is because I am honest. I love. My first core value in my life is love. So that's what I do. I choose love before I choose anything. So if I'm going to help somebody, I'm going to choose love, whether I like the way they look, smell, taste, whatever it is. It's about the love. They're a human being, and I'm going to treat every human being just like I would treat myself, like my brother, like my mother. I'm going to give them the experience that they deserve, whether I can help them or not. I always can help everyone. If they can't buy, guess what? I could tell them how to buy, right? Which most people don't do that. I can't help you. Thanks. Oh, no. Spend some time with these people, get to know them, why they're in the situation they are, and then coach them up on how to be better. That's it, man. That's what we do. We're problem solvers, man. We need to do that. We need to be certified solutionaries. So appreciate that, Joe.
We really appreciate everyone being on the show today, all the great ideas and thoughts. Also, obviously, all the great personalities and fun. I think that the car business needs more of that, and I think that's why I got in the car business over 20 years ago. It wasn't the typical job, and that's what got me interested. Because there's just so many typical jobs that really just aren't that interesting, and I think you got to share that passion out there. And I think what's happening today with social is really giving people the ability to do that. It's really just getting out there and getting it done. That's final thoughts from me. Any final thoughts from George or Fred or anyone else?
Well, I just want to thank you, gentlemen. As always, always a pleasure. Learning every day. I'm a student of the business. Every single day I wake up, I love learning something new, and always looking to learn.
Fantastic. Fred?
Love you guys. That's all I'm going to say is I love you guys. I appreciate the invite back. I look forward to coming back on this show again. We need to get you guys on the show. All y'all, everyone that's in this room, Car Guy Coffee, let's brew, www.carguycoffee.com. Make sure you guys reach out to me, Fred at carguycoffee.com. It's the best way to reach me. I love you guys. Let's keep growing.
Rock and roll.
Take care, all.
Have a great week.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gail. Very nice to meet you.
Hi, nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, man. I'm your followers on Facebook now.
Woo, no problem. Special shout out to Gail today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had to be in that.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Done.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.